I've seen her make an impact today on both ends. Running that point spot right now for Minnesota, and gets aggressive and finishes through traffic.
And we're getting a glimpse of why Cheryl Reeve was so high.
Hey, Grace. What have just the first impressions been so far, first 3 days, and how you're approaching this camp with a group that, is pretty intact coming in, but, just how you're approaching trying to make an impact?
Yeah, I mean, I've just had a lot of fun. I'd say it's been super fun being around people that have coached at and played at that highest level, have won championships, obviously something that, I hope to do in my career, but I haven't been there yet. So just seeing, their attention to detail on every single drill that they do, offensively and defensively, how they play together, how they play on a string on both sides of the ball. It's just been a lot of fun for me. So I've been trying to, just kind of watch the vets in front of me and kind of just model out what I do after what they do, just watch and learn in any way that I can.
Grace, there's obviously a long history of the point guard position with this organization, and mainly because you're a coaching staff with, Cheryl Reeve being the head coach and Lindsay Whalen being an assistant coach. Just kind of what it is. I know it's been, early, but what's that sort of been like getting to play for them during this training camp and in the weeks you were here before the training camp started?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they've won at the highest level. They've obviously Lindsay has won championships, has played with some of the best and kind of been that leader on the floor. So just to get to pick her brain, I've watched film with her, I've gotten on the court with her. She showed me her ball handling routine. So just little things like that. Anytime you can be around greatness like that and just pick their brain, it's something that I'm, extremely excited about.
Along the same lines, Courtney and T, both in that point guard room. What's that relationship been like, and how have you been appreciating their vocalness?
Yeah, I mean, they've been great. They obviously both have great personalities, but I think just seeing that they, are such selfless teammates, they genuinely want their teammates to succeed. I think, for young players like myself, and especially like the rookies coming in, that's huge. I mean, just to have someone that's played at the highest level, had a lot of success in the WNBA, and both of those two kind of pour into you, take the time to pull you aside before, after practice, do extra drills with you. It means a lot for a younger player like myself.
In college, you were kind of the master of the mid-range kind of thing. I know that they have been encouraging you to kind of step back and lengthen your shot. Has that been a process, and is that something you've been working on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just part of the program. If you can't, hit threes in this day and age, then you're probably not very valuable. You're probably not going to get on the court very much. So I've definitely, made a point of emphasis for the past 3 years that I've been a pro, just getting extra shots before, after practice, really learning how to get to those spots, getting open on a three, making an easy read for my teammates to get a kick out three whenever I get that opportunity, and just being able to knock it down with confidence. So I feel like I'm at a pretty good place with that.
The angels are here.
It's your boy Ace here, and welcome to Ace's Angels, y'all. Man, oh man, we had a really good final 5 minutes of this preseason game between the Chicago Sky and the Minnesota Lynx, and boy, oh boy, we got everything that we pretty much wanted to see out of Grace Berger. This is one of the things I love about exhibition season. You're going to see the girls that you want to see more of in these games, like, you know, especially girls that are trying to make the rosters and stuff like that. You're just going to see more of them, and that's why I love exhibition season, because you will see those minutes in this game, whereas maybe during the regular season, depending on the rotations, you might not see all of these minutes. So Grace Berger had about 15 minutes in this game, and I thought she had a very impressive performance. She looked really good out there on her new team, the Minnesota Lynx, and I think she definitely did pretty good, guys. I think that she definitely did what she needed to do in these games, and I just feel really good about what I saw out of Grace Berger here tonight, man. Her debut in a Lynx uniform, man. The exciting thing is she got a chance to play against Hailey Van Lith, especially in those final 5 minutes of the game. She was able to square up and go against her in a lot of different possessions on both sides. And both made really good defensive plays all against each other in this game. There was a key steal and stop that Hailey Van Lith made off of Grace Berger in this game that really kind of was really the tide that, you know, stirred the drink. Because I don't know if it was the possession after that, Hailey Van Lith got one of those key 3-pointers towards the end of the game that really sealed the deal for the Sky. I don't know if it was after that. I can't remember if it was after that possession or not, but that was huge. She had turned Grace Berger over on that possession. That was Grace Berger's only turnover of the game, was that stop that Hailey Van Lith had. Grace was really clean with the ball, pretty much almost the whole game. She was clean with the ball. So she had 15 minutes. She was 3 for 7 from the field, 7 points. She had an and one, so she was 1 for 1 at the line. Took 1 3-point shot. She missed that one, but 2 assists and no steals or blocks. But if you watched her play defense in this game, she was really D'ing up pretty well. And we already know that about Grace Berger. I showed y'all during the offseason, those turkey games, you know, how good her defense was. And so you guys already pretty much knew what her defensive capabilities are. Sometimes you just have to see it on the pro side, but Grace Berger definitely looked the part in this game, and I definitely think, you know, look, we'll have to see if she makes the team or not, but I definitely think that if Minnesota kept her, I think that'd be a really good piece off the bench for them this season. You know, if you get any injuries, you know you got her. Because right now their guards are pretty much Courtney Williams, Natisha Heidemann. Who else is one of their guards? Kayla McBride, who didn't even play in this game. So Kayla McBride is another one. So you've got, and then everyone else is playing wings or fours or, you know, center position. So I think there should be room for her on this team. One of the things when I was listening, because it was the Sky's broadcast in this game, because the Sky were home, I was listening to their broadcast, and they were talking about how Cheryl Reeve is really high on Grace Berger. She pointed out the IQ and just how natural the game comes to her and all that other stuff. And it sounds like she's really high on her, and I think that's one of the reasons why she took her in. So I'm hoping that's definitely something that'll, you know, be able to keep Grace Berger on the team, because Grace Berger looked phenomenal. And here's the thing, man, too. For those of us that loved her on the Fever and stuff like that and wish they didn't let her go, she definitely outperformed Sydney Colson. I can tell you that. She definitely outperformed Sydney Colson in both of the games that Sydney Colson played. Sydney Colson only had she played in those 2 games, only combined for 3 points. Grace Berger already has 4 more points than her in her appearances in this one game against this guy. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, man. I believe if Grace Berger played in either one of those games over the past weekend, Grace Berger would have most definitely had either the same kind of stats she had today, or she would have had more points today. You know, Grace Berger, one of the things about Grace Berger that makes her so special is that she has that mid-range jumper. Just like a Courtney Williams, got that mid-range jumper, could really, and then could take you to the paint like she did today. She could take you to the hole, draw a foul. She could do whatever you need her to do. She could. The one thing that was different, so in the first half when she played more of an off-guard type role because Courtney Williams and Anastasiia Heidemann was still in there. So it was more of, just kind of her playing off the ball a little bit. And, so basically playing off of them. Whereas in the second half, it was way more of Grace Berger, when she came in, especially in the last 5 minutes of the game, playing point. That's why she was squared up against Hailey Van Lith, because that was pretty much, who she was playing against, you know what I'm saying? And also playing against Alex Wilson as well. So she was definitely playing against them. And, everyone had a pretty good showcase in this game on both sides. I thought Hailey played well. I'm going to actually do a separate video about Hailey. I didn't get a chance to talk about Hailey from Friday's game against Brazil, but I'm going to cover her, how she played in this one. But yeah, pretty much, like I said, everyone, I think they did enough to do their best to try to make the team. We'll see if Grace Berger makes this team. I hope she does. At least for me, I think she did enough. And I hope she sticks with this team, because if Cheryl Reeve does have that much confidence in her, I think that's a really good thing for Grace. And then also Lindsay Whalen, who used to play for the Lynx, one of the Lynx legends, is one of the assistant coaches, and she works with the guards on the team. So I would love for Grace Berger to kind of piggyback off of her and learn things from her throughout the season behind the scenes. I think that would be great for Grace, because Grace is still a young player who could still learn a lot. So I would definitely love to see Grace, have a chance to learn off of Lindsay Whalen. So this was a good start for Grace. And like I said, Grace kind of showed you again, bro, why the Fever are going to regret cutting her, bro. Again, we don't know the reason why. See, this is the one thing I really want to know the truth. It's, I can play the theory game with you all day why she might have been cut, but I'm at the point right now where I want to know the real reason. Was it because of Sydney Colson? They had to add her? Was it the contract situation from other players like E. Will, her contract, or paying Katie Lou Samuelson off, her money that they still owed her? Or was it just adding other players, other vets, making room for them? Or was it Caitlin Clark? Because I know there was a theory out there that Caitlin Clark, maybe they didn't get along with each other. I don't know if I believe that story, man. But it's like, maybe that was a factor, because remember, they were rivals in the Big Ten, but just because you're rivals doesn't mean you hate the person that you was going against. I know they had some heated battles, but they were teammates almost, like, in a way. So I don't know, man. Like, it's the same thing with J.C. Sheldon, like Big Ten guards, you know what I'm saying, that, Caitlin had beefs against. But I don't know if I believe that. But I would love to know the reason why Grace was truly cut. There's no real reason out there why she's been cut, but I would love to know the truth. I would love to know the truth. Was it just because they wanted to give her a different opportunity? Maybe, because it's more than just fit to me. I really want to know if there was something going on behind the scenes. I really do. I want to, or Grace maybe even asked to go. Maybe she felt like, shit, if I'm not going to be used by the team this season, maybe it's time for me to pack up and leave. So I would love to know the reason why. But Grace has another preseason game. This time it's against the same team, the Chicago Sky, on Saturday night at home. So basically, from what I'm hearing is, if there's going to be a wave of cuts before that game, if Grace Berger makes it to the Saturday game, she's probably on the team. If she's in that Saturday game, so we'll have to see. If she does get cut, I'm definitely making a video on it. I'm not going to get mad at Cheryl Reeve if she cuts her. I believe it's just, you got to find the best roster. You know, you got a lot of different veterans on the team. You got Carly Samuelson. Alissa Pili looked really good today. Like, Alissa Pili had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. And then you got Kosu, Badiane, all trying to make this roster. There's some other girls that didn't even play in this game that I don't even know if they're going to have a chance to play Saturday because they're probably going to get cut. But we'll see. Like I said, with the only person we didn't see was Kayla McBride, so we got to account for her. Natisha Heidemann normally comes off the bench, so we'll have to see how that impacts everything. But I would love for Grace Berger to be on this team because I do think this Lynx team can win a championship too, and I would love for Grace to be someone that could, you know, help them out and, you know, spell some minutes and kind of help them out off the bench. I think that'd be great for Grace. Grace Berger. You know, I would love to see that happen for her, man. But we'll have to see. And like I said, if she's on the roster, we're definitely going to keep up with her throughout the season. Grace Berger is my favorite player in the league. And, you know, it's not Caitlin Clark or nothing like that. It's not even Lexi Hall. It is, or Sophie Cunningham. It is Grace Berger. It's been Grace Berger since college, and she was with the Hoosiers. That's been my favorite player ever since then. Ever since I started watching her on the Hoosiers, she's been my favorite player in all of women's basketball. So, you know, I'm still hoping for her to really have like a stable, because I really believe Grace Berger, I don't know if she's ever going to be a starting point guard or guard, period, in the WNBA. If she's always just going to be a backup, it is what it is, but I still believe she has starter's potential if she's in the right spot. Like, if there's a spot where there's a spot open, I still think she could give you 15 points a game. I really believe that because her mid-range is sick, just like a Lucy Olsen. So, we'll see what happens, man. But go ahead and give me your thoughts, man. We're going to talk about Hailey Van Lith real quick. And probably Maddie Westbeld in that video. But go ahead and get this video a like, share, subscribe. Y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Aces Angels, y'all.